When we're in nature, we start thinking how beautiful and perfect everything is. And why does man come into this world and does so many bad things, ruins nature, kills animals, litters, destroys the beautiful world that he was given? What's going on with him? Why does he want to destroy everything with his ego? And the truth is that he doesn't want to destroy everything. To begin with, he thinks that he's doing something good. The wisdom of Kabbalah explains that we see ourselves only in a small historical point, in the middle, in between the beginning and the end of development. And throughout the stages of development, we can't determine anything about ourselves. Say, let's take an apple. We have two apples here. One beautiful, red, and the other sour and small. So what's going on? If we're looking at the beginning of development of the apple, it's not even an apple like this. This is already an apple. But we see it as something small. It has a sour smell. And if we look at it, we see that this thing is uneatable. But we live next to it, and we see its gradual development, so we see how suddenly it takes on completely different shapes than to begin with, and it becomes a nice, beautiful red apple. Its smell, I'm sure that if I'll open it, then it will probably have a sweet, tasty flavor. That is the end of development, and this is the beginning of development. It's the same with man. Bala Sulam explains to us in the article of The Essence of Religion and Its Purpose that the more meritorious the developing thing is, the more complicated it is. Turns out that the form of its development is more complicated. It isn't seen to the eye that the development is for the good. And actually, the Kabbalists say that this is what is ahead of us. We must reach the good state. And what's happening to us? The very opposite to the final state. And they say, true. Why is it true? Because if we are in the nature of an apple, which develops only by the forces of nature, then it becomes a more and more and more ripe and red apple until it becomes red and beautiful. But if we are talking about man's development, a contradiction in terms takes place here. We have to reach the development of our evil and to decide that we're evil and we must accept the good state ourselves. Here there has to be our own decision, and thus the state prior to the red, tasty state, it has to be the most sour state, opposite in size and all of its qualities. And thus, turns out that today we reveal ourselves in the worst generation, in the most corrupted generation. And this state, precisely this state, is the beautiful and worthy state in which we will decide that we can no longer keep on going this way and that we have to come out of this place, of this narrow, bitter world, into a state of a good world. And when we will decide this, we will use the wisdom of Kabbalah to turn this state into that state.